Okay, I'm going to make a little video on how to put the cotton fabric within the I-cord for the star bag. So I'm going to make a slip knot and cast on the 5 stitches for the strap. And I'm going to slide my work down, and I'm going to knit the first stitch only. Now that that stitch is on my other needle, if I turn my work, I can see the working yarn that I pulled across right here. I want to put the cotton fabric underneath that. This is my strip of cotton. I didn't fold and sew the sides. I don't really think it matters since it'll be sandwiched in here. If you're gonna use a piece of bias tape or a piece of cotton yarn, that's totally fine. As long as you have some sort of cotton material stabilizing how much your strap can stretch. So I put it through and I pulled quite a bit out just so we don't lose it while we're working. And now that it's in there, I'm just going to knit the rest of this row. I'm going to tighten that first stitch I just did and knit across. Now I have my first row done. I'm going to slide it back down. And this is the only thing that you will need to do each row to make sure that your cotton or whatever you're using to stabilize your strap is staying within the strap. So right now, if I were to knit, the cotton would no longer be in there. It would only be under the first bar. So we want to make sure that we pull the cotton over. And as I'm working, I've noticed when I did the first strap, I have been folding it a little bit. And so now, when I knit this first stitch, the working yarn will go over, and this will tighten up. Don't worry about that. So as long as we make sure that the cotton stabilizer is on the inside of the I-cord, after that first stitch, tighten a little bit. You can just knit across. And when you look at the back, your I-cord is beginning and the fabric is on the inside. Oops. Yeah, I'm sorry, yes it is. So now we will slide our work down again, and we're going to repeat this. So right now, if we knit, the fabric is left out. So we want to bring all this fabric up and over. And I have been folding it a little bit and knit that first stitch. Give it a little tug. You can see that your cotton is within the I-cord. Okay, continue to knit down. Slide your work down. Take a look at the back. Bring your cotton fabric up and around. And knit with the cotton on the inside of the I-cord. And you'll continue this all the way for the entire strap. You bring it up and over, making sure that when you make that first stitch, that will come across and that your cotton will stay on the inside. It can be a little fiddly at first, but once your I-cord strap is a little longer and once you get the hang of it, it just becomes a part of the motions of making the I-cord, and it will really, really help having straps that don't wear out or become really saggy over time. Bring it over. And knit across. I don't typically make tutorial videos, so if you watched this and found it helpful, I'm really glad. And I apologize if it's a little rough. I'm sure they'll get better over time as I design more things that might need a tutorial added to it. But for the most part, I feel like this is nothing new. Making an I-cord isn't new, but sandwiching the fabric in, I just wanted to have a little bit of a visual around how I'm doing so. But when you make the star bag, if you find that there are any techniques that you think you can do differently and it'll be easier on you or your hands or anything like that, please go ahead and do what feels best for you. So that is how you make the I-cord with the cotton on the inside of it. So earlier when it was a little bit open, that all eventually tidies up and gets tighter, and now you just have this little I-cord tube that has cotton running through it. You're gonna make this strap as long as you would like. The pattern has a suggested length, and then later on you will trim the edge of this, fold it up behind, and sew it to the inside of the bag. Happy knitting! So here I'm done with my strap, and I wanted to show how I'm going to attach it. This is the back of the bag. I have attached the front one already, and I'm going to be attaching it right here on the inside, just where this begins. The main color panel begins. This is the side panel. So I have the strap and I have trimmed the edge of the cotton. It was much longer. And what I'm gonna do is fold this a few times to make like a little bit of a tab. I'm gonna place that on the actual strap, and that's what I'm gonna press against the fabric right here. And then I'm just gonna sew that in place right there. So I'm gonna put my needle initially right through and continue sewing that down, making sure that I'm going through the cotton tab. And you just want to continue doing that until it's really, really in place. And that's it really. I'm just gonna go that way and then back, making sure I'm going to the edge of my I-cord strap and tacking it down. I also really want to make sure that on top of going to the edge, that I do a couple stitches that are pretty close to the top of this. I just like doing that so when I'm using my bag, and there's weight being pulled on it, this edge doesn't separate a little bit. I personally just don't like when that happens, so I want to make sure I do a couple stitches at the very top edge as well. And I'm using a thread color that's the same color as my contrast color, so you can't really see the stitches at all, so I'm not too worried about that. And you're just going to continue on that way, and when you're done, do a couple of knots and trim your edges.